Hi, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to do a whip and chat while I work on my let's put it like this. I have 8 squares left, but for the last 3 or 4 rows, which 8 squares is 2 rows, I've been doing 2 squares at a time. And so my intent today is to get this square done. So today is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So maybe by Monday I'll be done. Now I am babysitting today, so I don't know what time, so I may not get the complete second square of this done. Let me check my email. But I thought that I would make this video because I haven't made a whip and chat in like a week or 2. I don't have any notes. I don't have any type of agenda. I just am sitting here working on this gorgeous diamond painting so that I can kind of want to go and do my mystery diamond painting, but then I'm looking at the cat, which is behind me, and I've got about 2 weeks of work left on that. So I may go right to the mystery, or I may go and finish the cat. I have to decide. And the mystery, by the way, is a Winter Randall Spangler painting. That is my mystery painting from Diamond Art Club. Now, I decided to make this a mental health video because on Monday, when I had my telehealth appointment with my therapist, we always start off talking about my physical health, and then we segue into my mental health. And I told him, I said, you know, Mark, surprisingly, with the winter blues being part and parcel to my other mental health issues, I'm doing okay. I haven't really sunk into any of my heavy depressions like I usually do in the winter, especially considering where I was a year ago when I was hospitalized due to a heavy, serious depression where I just felt like I didn't even want to go on. And now, a little over a year later, I feel that I'm doing fairly well and I've been pretty strong. And he asked me why I thought I was doing better this year or right now compared to where I fell off the bus, so to speak, a year ago. And I said it's because of boundaries. I had been setting boundaries, and I thought that the boundaries that I had been setting were suffice enough to keep my heart in a safe place so that I could in turn protect my mental health. And for me, protecting my mental health is very, very important because of 2 things in particular: having bipolar disorder, which is represented by depression and mania, but also having PTSD as a result of childhood trauma and whatever triggers come along with that. So I told him that he had major surgery, and between I think it was Martin Luther King's birthday or Martin Luther King Day and his surgery, we had gone almost a month without having a session. Now, we did have an impromptu session when his surgery was delayed by 1 week, so that kept us from going a full month, but it was close to a month. So I said that during that month that we didn't have our session, I had experienced some difficulties which really took a hit on my mental health. But I didn't have the opportunity to discuss these things with him because, like I said, between the holiday and his surgery, we didn't have our scheduled appointments. So I kind of had to navigate my difficult issues, not really on my own, but with a very good friend who studied therapy, psychotherapy, and understands the human nature and and things of that nature. And I was able to kind of get through a difficult time. But with me having these triggers, I was struggling. But I didn't have him to talk to. But no matter what I was experiencing, I was determined that I would not allow any situation, and we are talking about social situations here on social media, to put me in such a bad mental state that my life would be in jeopardy. And one of the things that my therapist really, really encourages me to do, and I'm going to be able to do that even today, is to spend as much time with my grandchildren as I can, because he knows that my grandchildren are a catalyst to me being, they play very much into me being in a good, happy place. And so when I was going through some negativity, I kept those babies first in my mind and my heart. Of course, I paid attention to my spiritual need, my communication with my husband, and, other situations. But I needed to have something really powerful to hold on to so that I didn't allow myself to become swept up in those dark places. Now, part of that time, I went into a fibromyalgia flare, and I think I spent like almost a week in bed. And with me going into a fibro flare, my personal history is there's always a risk that I'm going to hit a major depression at the same time, especially if I can't get out of bed. But per normal, for my productivity, I had scheduled blog tours. And sometimes on this channel, I will flip open my spreadsheet and show you whatever it is on my agenda. And hey, for the heck of it, let's do that. Let's do that. Because it's right here. My iPad is right here. So the first two things, and I can't really see what the camera's showing, so I hope that it's coming through clear, is the first two things on the spreadsheet are blog tours and to-do. And of course, Robin's 2023 spreadsheet. So for blog tours, for the month of February, these are all the tours and I hope that it comes through clear, and I can't wait for it to become less blurry if it is blurry. But I had all of these blog tours signed up for February, and then there's March, there's April, and so on and so on. Then, in addition to that, in my to-do list, I have, let's see, which sheet are we doing? Sheet 1. I have read, videos, or write, and all the books that I read, I need to make sure that I read the book, make the video, and write the review. So in the midst of me going through some online drama, I had that busy agenda that was prearranged through the different publishers for scheduled blog tours. So that meant that no matter how sad I was, how down I was, how depressed I was, how personal I took negative situations, and I'm going to talk about that. I'm just getting some more of number 400. I had to get more. Even with all of that, I had those prearranged dates to get these books read, reviewed, videos made, and videos published on my blog, and then shared on other social media like Goodreads, Amazon, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And that is my basic livelihood. And I have to tell you that having that agenda made it so that no matter how sad I felt, no matter how overwhelmed I felt, no matter how harassed I felt, and we're talking about how I felt, not what other people were doing to me, but no matter how much of these emotions I felt, I had these dates lined up, just like I briefly showed you. I've got just as many March dates as I had February dates. Or in the case of January, I had just as many January dates. And that's not just the reading that I do. I'm also a series fanatic, and I read series. Like I read the David Rosenfeld, Andy Carpenter, and K-Team series. And then I also read Better Late Than Never, No Harm, No Foul. Oh, I can't think of the author, but I read a 3-book series. Any books that I get for review that are connected to previous titles, I will read. Like, for example, I had The Deepest of Secrets by Kelly Armstrong, which was book 7 in her Rockfield series, but I hadn't, I had Murder at Havens Rock, but I hadn't read The Deepest of Secrets, so in order to read Murder at Havens Rock, I had to go back and read The Deeper Secrets. So even beyond having pre-scheduled blog tours, I also read series and connected titles. And I'm telling you, having that in my back pocket while I experienced some stuff that just would not end was really key to me still being here, to be able to enjoy working on Trainer Dreams, enjoy putting jigsaw puzzles together. I think I'm on puzzle number 17 or 18 for 2023. I would, of course, do more puzzles if I was in diamond painting, but I want to do both. So therefore, I am still, I'm alternating. So what is going on that I am so thankful for my grandchildren, for my therapist, for my faith, for my husband, and for my reading and my professional book reviewing. What is going on? Well, my son came in my room the other day and he said, "Mommy, you've got to see this." And I'm like, "What is it, Alan?" And he said, "I went to bed last night." No, he said a week ago, my reels on Facebook were getting 1 view, 7 views, 10 views. And then I came home from the gym and one of my reels got 40,000 views. And then I woke up the next day and it was almost 700 or 300,000. Now it's 1 million. But at this point, and he said, and I got an email from Facebook so that they could find a payment system. I said, "A payment system?" "Yeah." And so the kids made money, like, I'm not going to say how much, but he made, this is all like in the last 3 or 4 days. And so we were talking about goals. And he said, "I want to be like you, Mommy." I said, "Honey, I'm not getting 40,000, 700,000, 1 million views. I'm not making hundreds of dollars. Yes, Google is paying me. I have already started earning via this YouTube channel, but not to the tune of what he's doing." He says, "Yes, but authors know you. Authors respect you. You can read any book you want. You can write any ticket you want." He said, I want to do that in the niche that I have." And I said, "Well, how do you accomplish whatever it is that you set out to accomplish? What are your goals?" And I kind of knew what his goals were because I'm a spreadsheet fanatic, and him and I talked about spreadsheets, and he designed some spreadsheets which help him to set out a plan on his powerlifting. He goes to the gym, and one of his major things is powerlifting. I think he's well over 600 pounds lifting 600 pounds at this point. And so he said the problem is, he said that you run into jealousy. I said, what do you mean? He said, "Well, you walk into a gym and you've got people who have been there longer, or they think they have more clout than you. So as soon as they see you start to make any growth, they want to step on your toes and they want to make you feel that you're inadequate." And I didn't expect to hear that from him, because he's such a positive, happy guy. If you met my son, you would love him instantly. Actually, personally, I think you would love all my kids, but that's just me as a mom. So I said, "Alan, I've got a situation that I haven't told you or Daddy about. I said, there's somebody that no matter what I do and how I do my best to fix it, something else continues to happen. He goes, are they speaking to you in sign language? I said, sign language? What are you talking about? So he says, and I'm going to get the meme because I don't always remember the term. And he said, sign language is shame, insult, guilt, and need to be right. I said, whoa, Alan, I just got a message last night that if you break down that message, it hits every single one of those points exactly in that order, that shame, insult, guilt need to be right. Because I was told to do something that I felt was unnecessary, and the pressure mounted and mounted and mounted. He says, well, you got to be careful, Mommy. He said, because people that have a problem with you are constantly moving the goalpost. I said, and now again, he's using a term that I'm not getting. I said, what do you mean moving the goalpost? He said, just when you think everything's okay, something else is wrong. I said, oh yeah, I can relate. I mean, I tend to use, and I'm going to be very specific, and I know that people will be watching this video, and this will make some people unhappy, but it is what it is, because it's affecting my mental health and my productivity. Looks like I need more of this 977. I don't know if I've got more of this. I just have to check my drawer. Give me a minute. And he said, yeah, people will move the goalposts. I said, yeah. I said the word yep one day, and you would have thought that I just cursed somebody's mama out. He said, you said what? I said, yep, Y-E-P. He said, and he literally said, what? Again, and I said, sorry for the noise. I think I'm going to be short a color unless I have it. 977. I hope I don't have any more spots for this because I know I didn't see it in the drawer. So, okay, let's see what we can do. We may have to contact Diamond Art Club for this color. So he said, yeah, they moved the goalposts. I said, yeah. I said, out of the blue, I get told that not to take it personally, but the word yep was offensive and disrespectful. And if I could type Y-E-P, then I could simply type the word yes. So I said, okay. So I thought it was just a minor thing and it would be over. So a few days later, I inadvertently used it again, and this time a joke was made out of it. So no feelings seemed to be hurt, and we joked around and so forth and so on. And then something happened, something was said, and I was told, apologize right now. And I'm like, no. And that became a thing. I didn't want it to become a thing, but became a thing because I was told to do something that I felt that was unnecessary. But then I was also told, if you're a friend, and this is going to come back to bite me in the behind, but you know what? It's affecting my mental health. It's made me lie in my bed for days at a time over the past 2 or 3 days. I mean, every day I just keep going back to bed. So I get told not to use that word because I know how a particular individual feels about that word. And so I go back and I put a book on, and the character says, yep. And a few pages later, the character says, yep. And I'm like, it's not a bad word. It's not offensive. It's not slanderous. It's not, it's not a racial slur. Okay. So I tried to manage a situation where I felt that if I've known you for a long time, I felt like, we had some kind of a friendship, if not a very close, we're not besties by any stretch of the imagination, but we're friends. Nope, you're not her friend. Or, nope, you're not my friend, because if you were my friend, you would have apologized. You would have said this. And I was told, no less than a dozen times by two people over the course of 2 days how I should have worded myself. So my son said, well, wait a minute, does this mean you have to only use the colored bathroom or sit in the back of the bus? I said, Alan, it's not about that. He said, then who has a right to tell you what words can come out of your mouth? I don't use vulgarities. I don't use sexual innuendos. I don't talk about things that are private between, say, me and my husband. So what is it that anybody has a right to tell you what words should come out of your mouth? So whether it was that or whether it was the fact that I did not show enough humility by apologizing when I didn't think I was wrong, I was then told that if you were a humble person, I think I just put all these drills in the wrong place. Yes, I did. If I was a humble person, I would have apologized to the point of trying to make somebody feel better. And I'm like, let me live. Let me be me. Let me do things with the right attitude, the right viewpoint. You know, when you say something to humiliate or to appease somebody else, guess what that can tend to do? That can kind of eat at you, because then you feel manipulated. You feel controlled. Okay? So, just as my son gave me that meme, I should make a folder for memes. So this is one meme. Whoops, where did it go? Wait a minute. The iPad can be pretty quick. So this is one meme on sign language, right? Then there's another one I want to show you, but another meme came through and it says, and here it is, I'm going to read it. It says, agreeing to things just to keep peace is actually a trauma response. When you do this, you're respecting your boundaries. No more making yourself uncomfortable for others to feel comfortable. You have control now. You run your life, take up space, and use your voice. So if I agree to things just to keep peace, that's a response to the trauma I experienced when I was younger. But then notice what it said. When you do this, you're disrespecting your boundaries. Remember when I started this whole discussion, I said that my therapist and I talked about boundaries, and I felt that I was setting the proper boundaries in my life? Well, if I set the right boundaries, according to what I'm reading here, no more making yourself uncomfortable for others to feel comfortable. That's what setting boundaries is. And then the other meme that I ran across over the past week or so, I have to find it because I do a lot of book stuff, so I have lots of book covers in here as well, was an environment that is not safe to disagree is not an environment focused on growth. It's an environment focused on control. Why am I laying it all out there like this? Why am I exposing? Oh, I said I left the drill. So sometimes if I miss a drill, I grab a small boat and I pop that drill in right as soon as I see it. Whoops, and I see 5 right there. Boy, I missed. Okay, so I'm glad I dumped more on the boat. So why am I, using what happened to me in this video that I am going to type to label as a mental health chat? Because of that lack, of boundaries and other people telling me words that I should have used, not once, not twice, not 3 times. I counted 12 times over the course of 2 days from 2 individuals, kept telling me how I should have said something, equates to you telling me words that should come out of my mouth, even if they make me uncomfortable, just to make somebody else comfortable. And because I chose not to follow the edict that someone set out for me, it meant that I was not the person's friend who I had been saying I had been friends with for several years. I am not her friend. because a friend would have apologized and did what she was told. But those boundaries get blurred. And in my case, the boundaries got really, really blurry because there's a part of me that has to, a huge part of me actually, that has to accept my responsibilities as a Christian to imitate Christ. And you have to, at least I have to ask myself, is what would Jesus do? And what did Jesus do in certain situations? And that makes me responsible to act in a way that is appropriate, mature, adult, not childish. But there also has to be a level of my humanity in this and whatever boundaries that I need to set in order to protect my mental health. Now, it was stated to me, well, if you're not happy there, stop going. Well, I was always happy there. That's why I was going. I wasn't unhappy. The unhappiness came in when I'm told, you better do this or else. And when someone says or else, then nicely, veiledly, or directly, the long and short of it is it's a threat. And this is where my mental health steps up to the bat, think of a baseball game. And my mental health is about to take a hit. And I will, first of all, I shed some tears over the situation because no, I don't call this person every day and say, hey, how you doing or whatever, because I see this person every day in a social situation here on YouTube. But I guess that's not good enough to establish what I thought was a friendship. If I cared about this person, I would have apologized just to make that person feel better. Now, I did not say anything that should have made that person feel bad to begin with, but because somebody else is in control of the situation, my responsibility was to ameliorate, or we'll just say appease the situation by allowing someone else to put words into my mouth and to repeat those words, even if those words made me uncomfortable because they weren't coming from my heart. And no matter what I do in life, in marriage, in family, in faith, in friendship, in social situations, in book reviewing, in whatever aspect of my life, I have to feel that I am doing things on a genuine level. When I am doing something to remove boundaries that I need to have in my life, and I am going back to get that meme one more time, which I did not take a screenshot, so I have to go get it from somewhere else. But when I go, I'm going to read this one more time. Agreeing to things just to keep the peace is actually a trauma response. When you do this, you're disrespecting your boundaries. No more making yourself uncomfortable for others to feel comfortable. You have control now. You run your life. Take up space and use your voice. So, block, block, block. Is blocking a childish action? No. I have mental health issues that I have freely talked about on this channel. I see a therapist. I see a psychiatrist. I take medication. I seek spiritual counsel. I have to set boundaries so that I don't wake up like I did today feeling insanely sad because I could not save what I thought was an ongoing friendship. I was told that I am truly not this person's friend, and okay, so you don't want me in your life? That's fine. Because what I have to do is I have to be a good nana, a good wife, a good sister in my congregation, a good friend, and a good person. And if it means setting boundaries to protect my mental health, such as blocking hateful people, people whose aim it is to rock the boat, to move that goalpost. Every time you think everything is okay, something else pops up, like me saying YEP, Y-E-P. That was the end. That was pretty much, that broke the mold. Now, it's all a matter of perspective. It really, really is. Because in this particular situation, and everybody that knows about it, this is not going to end with this video. The only way that it will safely end after me making this video is hopefully I have blocked the people that are harming my mental health. But I have to look after my responsibilities in the world of reviewing in regard to my family, in regard to my faith, in regard to my role in my congregation. I have to look after all of that. And if I am allowing social media to be a catalyst to take those boundaries and to move those boundaries, wow, these jewels really fell off the pen, to take those boundaries and to move them so out of place that I am ceding control to somebody else just to make them comfortable, then I'm not being true to myself. And that's why this mental health chat needed to be made. Now, interestingly, a few weeks back, when something happened, someone asked me, are you going to make a video about it? And I said, no, because my videos have been positive. They've been book reviews. They've been about my jigsaw puzzles. They've been jigsaw puzzle completions. They've been jigsaw puzzle hauls. And to the tune of over 630 videos in 2022. Yeah, 2022. And these videos have been uplifting, encouraging, and positive. That was a couple of weeks ago. But remember that goalpost that my son said that people that like to be in control like to move? That goalpost got moved one too many times. So now we have this video. Do I expect rebuttals? Yeah, I do. Do I expect negative consequences? Quite possibly. Do I expect on my end healing, growth, positivity, reaffirmation, and continued success in meeting the goals that I have for my blog, for my channel, for time I spend with my husband, my daughters, granddaughters, grandsons, and my sons? Do I want to have enough strength to stay out of bed? Or when my daughter calls me to say, Mommy, can we pick you up at, say, 11 o'clock? And I say, no, I'm so depressed, I don't think I can get out of bed. No, I can't do that. Those grandbabies, and it's 3 granddaughters that I'm going to watch today, they need their Nana. And they don't need their Nana sad and forlorn. Because I feel so sad that I could not preserve what I thought was obviously it's not a friendship. I was told that I'm not her friend, and that was a surprise to me. But hey, if that's going to be the, I'm thinking of the word recipe. If you want to make a cake, you need flour, you need sugar, you need baking powder, you need a little bit of salt, a couple other things, eggs, maybe milk or water. And then the end result is a cake. Well, if the end result is because I did not apologize when I was told to, and more than once, then I am not a friend, then I guess I am not that person's friend. So therefore, I will no longer be in that person's life. And Does this mean that I'm going to be lonely and sad and crying tears? My tears came out as tears of sadness. Then they turned into tears of anger. And then they turned into tears of frustration. And then somebody shared with me that meme about boundaries, trauma reactivation, and mental health. So what does that mean for me in social situations? Well, I remember saying to somebody a few weeks ago, my heart is locked up tight. Well, guess what? My heart was not locked up as tight as I thought it was. I left myself wide open. And one thing I remember saying is there should not be winners in a situation that was words shared on social media. I wanted to talk to that person one-on-one. Not necessarily video, not video at all, but at least audio. At least where you can hear my voice and I can hear your voice and we could settle things. And the answer was a resolute no. Because there was a third party to that entire conversation. And anything that I typed to this person while I was trying to fix the situation, I was getting messages on another end from the person that's pulling all the strings. And I tried to salvage something that I guess was not worthy of salvaging. And it's made me sad. So, you remember the stages of grief? I feel like I'm going through them, because I thought this person was my friend and now I feel a loss. I already feel the loss. So I feel like I'm going through stages of grief. So right now I'm sad. Not at the person that has been vicious to me or the one that has been constantly moving the goalpost, but at the person that I thought I had room in my heart for and that had room in my heart for me. That's the loss that I feel. But that's okay, because I remember there's a scripture in the book of Matthew where if you remove the demons from a house but you don't fill it with something good, then more demons can come in. And I'm not using this in a literal sense. I'm just using it in the sense of, okay, this person is no longer part of my life, but it doesn't mean that I'm empty. It doesn't mean that I'm not replacing it with something good. And on a fun note, and on a different note, NetGalley, the main review site that I review for, now has lists. So while I'm watching the girls today, I am going to use the NetGalley. It's netgalley.com. And I am going to create my March list. Okay, today is February 17th or 18th or something like that. And I am replacing those feelings of sadness that have attacked my mental health and have messed up my boundaries and have cost me what I thought was a friendship. And I'm going to just replace that with something that is brand new to NetGalley, and that is lists. In fact, I've already started 2 lists, just 2, just to familiarize myself with the process. So if I go to my NetGalley and I go to my dashboard, here it says your list. So I have 4 audiobooks from NetGalley. I have other audiobooks for review, but they're from another source. So I've got my 4 audiobooks, but what's great about this is it tells you when they're going to publish. So that means that there's something coming out the 27th, which is The Mother Next Door by Leah Mercer. The next one that publishes is The Holiday Home by Daniel Hurst. And then in date of publication, we have What Have We Done by Alex Finley. And then in April, The Soulmate by Sally Hepworth. So that's my very, very first list. And my next list that I made is the rest of my February TBR for NetGalley. okay? But it doesn't mean that's all that I'm going to read for the month of February, because there's, I think, 11 days left. I'm also working on, where's my series? I have this series spreadsheet, which is usually in color. Like if we look at other years, I have it in color. I just haven't colorized 2023 yet, but this is my 2023 spreadsheet. So when I get past this list here, okay, and this list here, then I will go over here and complete February with one of these series. And I already downloaded 4 books, and they're right here. The next 4 books in the Jana Ivanovich Stephanie Plum series: Sizzling 16, Smoking 17, Explosive 18, and Notorious 19. So yeah, that's how I'm going to redirect my mental health, by having fun with a new feature of NetGalley. So I'm never ever truly lost. No, I'm not done with the symbol. I'm never ever truly lost. I feel sad, I feel tears, I feel anger, I feel frustration, but there's always something to pull me through. And now there's a new feature that I get to have fun with, especially since I am such a spreadsheet fanatic. I can combine my spreadsheets with NetGalley's lists, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set my March up, and which is really good because I didn't set February up until like February 7th. So now it is February 17th, and I'm ready to set March up. So I'm really excited about that. So I may have lost somebody that I thought was a friend, but I have pulled the dross, the negativity, the darkness out of my life. I know there's going to be retribution for this video, but guess what? I needed to, what's that word? Exercise? Not exercise, but exorcise. Get this badness out so that my mental health can stop taking such a hit. And one thing that is important is, not only do I deal with bipolar disorder, but I mentioned early on that winter blues, it's winter time here, okay, in the United States. And winter blues is always, always difficult for me. So I need to redirect. And I tried for weeks and weeks and weeks to fix a situation that was impossible to fix. And now I get to redirect my energies, not just with the grandkids that I'll see today, and hopefully I'll see 2 more tomorrow. So maybe in the next couple of days. Actually, no. Okay, let's run this over. Today, I get to see 3. Tomorrow, I get to see 2. On Thursday, I get to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I will be with 6 of my grandchildren on Thursday. Yeah, so I'll be all right. My mental health will be okay. So, to end it all, is blocking people childish? No, it's protective. And that's what I'm going to do. So if anybody that's watching this is a book reviewer and is on NetGalley, check out that new feature. It's on your dashboard. It's not on the NetGalley Shelf app, which is where I thought it was. It's on your dashboard at netgalley.com under your profile, and you can create lists to curate your reading. And that is going to be my next goal, to help me to get past some of the hits that I took to my mental health. Now, as I close this video, I want to make it clear that I could have been vague, but I was very specific. So there's going to be no doubt who I am talking about or what I am talking about. Let's make that clear. There's not going to be any doubt about who or what I have been referring to. But I am still going to grow mentally, spiritually, and even so in a social sense, because I hopefully have pulled myself out of that negative situation, not even to the point of lurking. I don't want to know. I don't want to be a part of it. I've got too many things to do. I've got videos to make, book reviews to write, book reviews to edit. And, you know, when I do book reviews, by the way, it's just not making a video and writing the reviews. I've got to get the images, the links, share across social media, correspond with the authors, with the publishers, publishers and publicists. It's a big deal. It keeps me pretty busy, you know, and I love it. So that is it. I have my camera up here, so I have no idea how long this video has been. Hopefully it hasn't been too long. And like I said, I could have been very general, but instead I chose to be specific. So those of you who know of the situation will know exactly what I'm talking about. But one thing is for sure, I wish peace and love to everybody. Whatever makes you happy, go after it, as long as you're not hurting anybody else. That's all I got to say. Thank you for watching.